Well, Jason, we got a couple more minutes here. So what we're going to do now is transition to talking about the bourbon. So we're going to bring Eric on. Eric's the founder of the event, Bourbon Friday, and he's going to tell us why he picked this one. So
Sure. So we have Rieger Private Stock.
Okay.
And since we're talking about hotels, I thought this was really appropriate. So Rieger started out in the late 1800s. It's a distillery. Was a distillery in Kansas City. It was what was known on the wettest block in the city, or I guess in the States, because it was on the border of Kansas and Missouri, and Kansas had prohibition before Missouri did.
Oh.
So throughout, they grew to be one of the largest distilleries. They had 250,000 mail order customers. Law is very different than they are today. Not really a thing now.
250,000. Wow.
So when Union Station moved in Kansas City, they opened up their own hotel called the Rieger Hotel in Kansas City near Union Station to help travelers and to promote their brand, because they put a big mural of their bottle on the outside of that hotel. So the brand didn't survive Prohibition, but years later, a bartender and restaurateur named Maybee, opened up a bar, and it happened to be in the basement of that Rieger Hotel building. And he became fascinated with that whole story. And a couple years after that, he opened up the Rieger, which is a restaurant in that hotel, that building. And on that opening night, he met the great-great-grandson of Jacob Rieger, the guy that started the company. His name's Andy Rieger. And he said, we should restart the distillery. Now, that didn't happen immediately, but a few years later, it did. So you have a bourbon and drinks inspired by a hotel. And the other great thing about this, much like the last hotel, National Historic Registry, much like this building, Covo is in there, they just recently opened up their distillery in Kansas City, and they opened up another great old building. I think it was the Heel Bottling building. So all these buildings are now being repurposed to these new purposes, these new purposes and making sure that we keep that history going.
Yeah, that's one of the great things is you repurpose some of the buildings downtown. You don't have to tear down part of the architecture and the history of that city.
Yeah.
And that's what they did with the last hotel as well. Is the 1910 building, we just repurposed everything inside, but we kept the architecture inside as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Well, I have already taken a sip of it, but I'm going to take another sip now. And it is a strong one.
Yeah.
Put it that way. So it's good. It's good stuff.
Proof.
Yeah.
120 plus.
You can feel it a little bit. So
yeah.
It's been a while. I haven't had anything over 120 in a while, so I appreciate that.
It's been a little bit.
Yeah.
If you want to hear more bourbon stories, check out these videos. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world to us. You can also find us on social. We are at Bourbon Fridays on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok. See you next time.